So during this crazy time of the Judges, we get this little book in the Bible. It's the book of Ruth, and it tells us of a love story that takes place during this time, but how God orchestrated his promise not to be just for Israel, but for the entire world. Israel was just supposed to introduce the promise to the world. In the book of Ruth, we find this young woman named Ruth, who's not even an Israelite, who even when the book of Ruth starts, she doesn't even believe God, follow God at all. But she comes to follow God, and in that course, she meets a man named Boaz, and the two of them get married. All during the period of the Judges. And then in Ruth chapter 4, it's only, it's a little short, it's only 4 chapters. In the 4th chapter of the book of Ruth, it says that Boaz took Ruth and she became his wife. And he went into her, and the Lord gave her conception, and she bore a son. And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. That's great King David. That's David and Goliath. David, he is the man who would be the great king one day. And God planned this out, that someone from a different country, someone who did not even believe in him, would come to believe in him, and she would be in the ancestral line of the Messiah, the great Son of God, who would usher in the fulfillment of the promise in salvation for the entire world. And so that is who Ruth is. That's who Ruth was, the great-grandmother of great King David. And David being the great king in the future, but before he can be, there is still one last judge to come.